Good after evening, noon, everybody, and welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. And yes, that is 2 weeks in a row that I have done that. Look at that. Vince is like, man, oh God, I love him. Hey, there we go. There's my thumbs up. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. We are back here for another Wednesday night. And what I wanted to do, Vince and I was talking, he said, man, I got this great video today. My 250th, and I don't know whatever that fancy French word he used was. But one of the things we thought about, it's like, this is a very special activation for him to get out there. What happened if he forgot something? So I wanted to kind of roll that back and maybe talk about how do we, as portable activators, getting out there, making sure that we make every one of those activations memorable in a good way and not in a bad way by like, darn, I forgot this. Or darn, I forgot that. So what I wanted to do is get into that tonight. But before we go any further, wanted to introduce everybody at the table. Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself?
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, wrong interview. What's going on, Jeff? Sorry. Well, I got so excited there. I kicked right into interview mode. Jeff, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Cold. It's been cold here in Delaware, believe it or not.
No.
Spent the weekend down in Virginia. Saturday was 70 degrees. Oh, that was nice.
Just 70 degrees?
Yeah, 70 degrees and sunny.
You're over by the ocean, right?
Yeah, I was down in Virginia Beach area.
Va Beach, we called it when I lived there.
Va Beach, and went up to Yorktown. So I had a good day.
Right on.
That was just a good weekend.
On Atlantic Avenue?
No, I didn't go to the actual beach itself.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the beach. Too sandy, gets everywhere.
You're no friend of Walt's. That's what you are, buddy.
Don't want to be getting sand and things. It's hard to get out.
Actually, I did not let him know I was coming down.
Uh-oh.
No.
You didn't.
No, I always say, hey, well, I'm coming down like this whatever weekend. And he goes, oh, let me check my schedule. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just coming down. I didn't even tell him that I was coming down and see if he was available or not. But, oh, well, maybe another time.
No. Yeah. Vince, how you doing tonight?
I am living the dream. Good after evening, noon.
Good after evening.
It has been a really freaking busy week around here. So today, this is my fourth video this week to drop. You haven't seen a video from me in a month, and all of a sudden 4 have dropped this week. It's just the way it goes. I'm riding the high as a result of, I'm pointing to my screen over there where my video was just playing on my monitor. My semi-Quinn Centennial. So Centennial 100, Quinn 5, so 500. Semi-Quinn, half of 500, 250. I'm not sure if that's French, Italian, Latin, or what it is, but it sounded great. Somebody else said, hey, congratulations on your upcoming semi-Quinn Centennial, because she knew I was going out to do an activation. I'm like, oh, I want to latch on to that word. So I had to write it down. And you saw me in the video, like looking at the piece of paper to make sure I didn't muck it up.
Muck it up. It's a mouthful there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So it's been a lot of fun. So been lots going on. And I just, we had Aaron from Modern Morris on here 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And in the after show in Ham Radio Kids Table After Dark, when we weren't live anymore, we did a deal, and he now has my KX3 and I have his KX2. So I'm super stoked about that. And we each just got the radios today, thanks to UPS. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah, so it's pretty
cool.
If
you guys haven't checked out Vince's video, make sure you go check it out. I will. I got to say, there are more than one gratuitous butt shot.
Yes.
Yes,
there are gratuitous tuka shots, and they will attract you because they are butt shots.
Yes.
But they are my butt. Oh, I just spoiled it. Anyway.
There you go.
There you go. All righty. Well, so in that 250 parks that Vince is activated, one of the things that is kind of a unique, probably not to everybody, but is unique to Vince, is that Vince doesn't have a park right next door. So every time that Vince goes out to activate a park, that is a um, that is an event
A
in and
trip.
itself, a trip. Yes, a trip. And the last thing that he wants to do is drive, I don't know, 75, 50, 100 miles, 2, 3 hours, whatever it is, get there and find out that he can't complete that activation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, indeed.
what are some things that you do, Vince, to
Oh, wow.
prepare for an extended outing like that?
An extended outing. So if you go to the front of my website, and I'm going to put that into the chat, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see Ham Smarter Tools from VE6LK, and you click on that link and it goes to my public Dropbox, and you're going to see on there a a POTA, excuse me, a POTA Rove planner, and I'll explain that in a minute, and a gear checklist. And in the gear checklist, I've got all of my stuff listed and I select what I need and I build that tab on that spreadsheet for that trip. And I make sure that I don't pull a Kyle and leave a battery behind. Hi, Kyle. Love your brother. Because that would suck, right? You get all the way out there and you go, oh, damn, I forgot a key piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing I do. When I'm doing multi parks, I plan them as a rove. Even if I'm doing just two, like, or if it's one and it's a few hours away, like how long does it take me to get there? Do I have enough fuel? Do I have enough water and food on board? Because I live, when I get outside of the city, it's a fairly desolate area. I can drive for 100 miles and see nothing. No sort of services or anything, right? Save for spotty cell service. So I have to be independent. I have to, know where my fuel stops are and all the rest of that stuff. So a fair amount of pre-planning involved in that. So those are the two key things I do, and they're both pre-planning exercises.
How long do you think you spend time wise putting together a trip? And I know it all kind of
Oh,
varies, but
yeah,
if you're gonna, because I think one thing that you mentioned, it's not a lack of parks in Canada, it's that your parks are so huge that you don't have as many of them in a confined area. So
yeah,
you have to go further and further away to get to additional parks.
yeah,
I think
for
also you
sure.
mentioned you guys don't have as many threefers as we do here in the States.
Yeah, no, not a chance. We have some twofers that we can get, but getting more than a twofer is very special, at least where I live. Now, in other provinces, it's a whole bunch easier. I was just traveling in southern Ontario, around the Hamilton area, and the park that was just around the corner from my sister-in-law's, where I was staying, is a fourfer if you park in exactly the right spot, because there's two trail systems that come along into the park, and then they do overlap. But if you park it right at the correct spot in the parking lot, you're actually in a fourfer. So it's cool, but
Mm,
you have to look at your maps and do your planning to figure these things out, right?
Yep.
yeah. I, s- I,
So
s-
yeah, yeah,
I
that's a
suppose
lot of it.
that could be another another thing to think about in that planning to do this. You mentioned to us you were throwing a little shade on some fellow Canadians about that last park that you were in.
Yeah,
About
just a
how
little
they
bit.
little shade on your fellow Canadians.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you mentioned that if they had done a little pre-planning, they could have walked about 150 feet or something like that, and
Half
had
a
been in
mile. Yeah.
half a mile and been in a twofer, one of those rare
Yes.
twofers in Alberta.
Yeah, one of those rare twofers in Alberta where a national historic site is inside a national historic site, and that's actually quite common. In Banff National Park, there's the Banff Mineral Hot Springs National Historic Site within the national park. There's uh, the Banff National Park headquarters historic site, within Banff National Park.
Mm.
There's like 3 or 4 or 5 twofers, and they're all around the town side of Banff. You just have to do your research first to know where they are, right? I was traveling recently. I was at 55 degrees north in Grand Prairie, Alberta, which is way the heck up in the northwest, and not as far as 60 degrees north. I thought about driving there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have that much time. But I took a look at a park that was just 12 minutes from my hotel where I was staying. And I looked on the map, and there's 2 dots on the map, and one of them is sitting on an island because that's where the Latin Long worked out. But it was
Mhm.
really, it was on an island in the middle of the lake where there was another dot below the lake. And I took a look at it and I went, well, what is that really? Oh, that's a federal bird sanctuary. Well, bird sanctuaries frequently aren't just on islands, they're usually the whole body of water. Well, sure enough, the bird sanctuary overlapped the provincial park, and nobody had done the bird sanctuary, which really surprised me because people hadn't done their research.
Yeah.
Just do your research and double up your POTA entities. For me, this was not my 250th successful activation. I'm still 6 shy of that because I've had half a dozen that didn't work out. But it's my 250th park that I've uniquely visited in
Oh,
all my
okay.
travels. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's
Yep.
that's not bad. I got a long way to go to be like in the top 10, and I don't think I'll ever be there unless I get hit by the lotto and I can retire tomorrow. So
Yeah, we all wish that.
yeah, exactly, right.
Wait, wait,
Yeah,
whoa. We're all wishing that he gets hit.
we all wish that Vince gets hit by the lotto and he can retire tomorrow.
No,
Oh,
we all wish that we
And I wish
ourselves
that
can
and
win.
I wish that
oh,
you all get that too, right?
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just about pre-planning.
got a
We
plan.
we have and actually thinking about the planning, last winter field day, Carlos and Alan, Punk Rock Ham Radio, and I met up at the Indiana Dunes. Well, I guess it is the Indiana Dunes National Park, but it's also alongside of there a state park, and then there's a couple different entities in there. And we spent several hours looking through all the maps trying to figure out where we could get the best, 2 for 3 for, and it took a while. And I did find on an obscure map, but nonetheless published by the federal government, that there was a strip of the state park that or I'm sorry, we were in the state park, but it was inside of about 100-yard section of the national park on the beach and into the water, which contained us, and we at least got a twofer out of that one. So we got both the state park and the federal park. What was interesting about that, and we're gonna have to go back in the warm weather, is there is a underwater sanctuary, uh, 400 yards, 200, whatever it is, off the shore, and there's no land out there. You have to be above it, and I want to go out there with a boat and activate that one, because once again that's not something that gets activated because it's a little ways off
Yeah.
off the shore there. So I'm not
So
sure
there's
how I'm going to do that, but
well, you're going to rent a boat. I mean, there's a park. So I live just south of the big city of Calgary, a little over 1 million people, and there's a bunch of POTA guys there and soda guys there. There's a very active soda community because we have so many mountain peaks, within an hour's drive to the staging area. Um, and there's this island in the middle of a river that's a natural area that translates to government hunting land,
mhm.
and nobody's touched it. And I'm like, well, maybe if I go out there in January or February when it's cold as a witch's elbow and the water's frozen over, I can walk across to it
There you go.
and do that, right? So you start planning crazy stuff like that. I got into backcountry bicycling because of POTA. So what y'all don't know about me is I was an overlander like 20 years ago, or as we call them up in these parts, an off-roader. And first, I had a little geo tracker that I lifted and put a winch on it and did all that. So it's kind of like a quad with doors. It's very tiny. And then I changed over to a quad. And I had a big bike. It was a 750cc, and it went everywhere. And it was a lovely bike, 4-stroke. quiet. I could sneak up on deer. They kind of look at me as I come around the corner. Anyway, I miss kind of gravel road riding
Mhm.
and off-road trail riding. And I thought to myself, a year ago, I thought to myself, there's this park that's, I don't know, 12 or 13 kilometers away from a staging area where I frequently activate, which is a POTA entity. And the park, that's called the Little Elbow Park. And the Big Elbow Park is 12 kilometers down the trail. And I looked at it from a satellite view, part of my planning process. Let's look at satellite view. Let's look at topo maps. Let's look at a whole pile of other maps and sources of data. I'll look at 2 or 3 different satellite imageries to see what I can tell. And I looked at it and I went, wow, that looks like a road. And sure enough, you can see in some parts it's a 2-track. And as the roads do around here, they run along the side of these big, wide riverbanks that, they seasonally get really high and then they're very low most of the time. Well, so I looked at that and I went, oh, so if I want to get my electric bike across this, because Vince doesn't hike much, like if I hike, it's a mile, I stop, because it's not my thing. It's not for everybody.
Vince only hikes when he's filming gratuitous butt shots.
Yes, that's right. He
Yeah.
does. And next time I'll put a little more wiggle in my step just for y'all.
Purely for YouTube.
Shake it. Guys, shake it for the camera there.
Got to shake it for the camera. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Vince got to be up on OnlyHams here soon.
So, well, as a matter of fact, I do have the sticker
There you go.
for OnlyHams, thanks to Dude Tested.
Yeah.
So
I like how I like how you covered up big time DXer sticker there.
Yeah, well, I had to because at Hamvention, he jammed 2 stickers on my laptop when I went off to the bathroom, and so I had to cover them up with other ones.
There you go.
But I left cwfans.com uncovered just for TJ's sake.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this park, the Big Elbow Park, and I'm going, well, how the hell am I going to get there? And it's a busy river, like it's a fast running river. So how can I cross that river to get across? And I thought to myself, well, I'll wait until September, October. Maybe I'll take a buddy with me. And worst case, if I have to carry my bike across the river, I will. Well, I didn't realize. So that comes to this summer, and the water's high this year. It didn't really drop down very much into late summer because of the precipitation we had. So I start looking at my activation, and I'm there early Sunday morning. And then all these people start arriving with bicycles. Where are they going? So, you start to do a little research. I look around the corner from where I am. Oh, look, there's a bridge, and it's a person bridge. And I didn't see that on the overhead satellite imagery nor the topo maps. It wasn't a feature that was defined. I'm like, oh, cool. This bridge means I can ride there. And you bet your ass that a week later, I was back with my gear and my bike and all my 10 survival essentials to go off in backcountry on my own and ride 12 kilometers out to do my first backcountry POTA activation. And for me, it was like off-roading. It was so cool. It was just like riding a gravel road on my bike, and I'm going off to do POTA someplace nobody's been before. And that kind of stuff just gets me charged up, I guess.
Cool.
Anyway, big long story there, but thanks for coming to my TED talk that I didn't plan on doing. But there's planning involved. So for that plan, that I probably did 5 or 6 hours of planning between when I saw that bridge and when I was there a week later. I consulted with Canada's first double mountain goat, soda goat, male and Vidler V6 VID, buddy of mine. We both part-time at the candy store and hang out together sometimes. So I'm like, dude, what do I need to know beyond, take care of myself, take bear spray and a satellite spotter and all the rest of the basics, right? Oh, take your 10 essentials. And I took a look at what I had on hand, and $75 later, I had the rest of what I needed. I had an old backpack, so all my essentials are now in that backpack, and it's part of my kit. I can grab and go.
So what are the 10 essentials?
Oh, the 10 essentials. Hey, that's a great question. So I'm going to look that up because on the REA website, there is a web page called the 10 Essentials. And the 10 Essentials, let me share out this that window that I've got here going on over on this screen. And so I think I've restreamed. Yeah, thanks very much. So navigation, how do you find your way around? Map, compass, altimeter, GPS, whatever. A headlamp or a flashlight, headlamp is what's suggested. Sun protection, first aid kit, a knife, and some sort of gear repair kit. So a gear repair kit for a guy who rides a bicycle means a basic bicycle wrench and a pump and something to fix a flat with, right? I carry 3 knives with me. A Bear Grylls survival knife that I found on city streets cycling around. I put an edge on it and wound a bunch of paracord around it, and that was good. Something to create fire with, something to create a shelter with, extra food beyond minimum. So, for a short 12-kilometer trip like that I could walk out in 2 hours, a few extra food bars. Extra water beyond the minimums, and extra clothes beyond the minimums. So that's your 10 essentials. And I'll paste that link in the chat. These are basic backcountry essentials for anybody. And this is a list I've referred to time and time again. And so all of that stuff fits in a backpack for me, or in a bag on my bicycle, in one of my pannier bags. And it makes it easy. And then I can go out there and I can be safe on my own, because I like doing these things solo, right? Anybody who does hiking for any time knows what these 10 essentials are about. So this is in addition to my radio kit. So you can imagine now, if I carry a whole crap ton of radio gear, I've probably got 25 pounds of gear with me. So I'm really glad I've got the bike, because I put 10 on my back and 15 on the bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the 10 essentials. Oh.
Mark Hughes, Mr. Boondock Echo says maps are only maps are kind of useless if you don't know how to read them, and that's a fair assessment there.
Yeah, it totally is a fair assessment. And I've been known to take like 3 copies of a map. I'll print off a map, or I'll print off topo charts at home, and I'll print them off in black and white in such a way that I can read them and slide them into a plastic sleeve in case my GPS fails. In case, I carry 2 or 3 compasses, like there's one in my phone, but if my phone breaks, well, I got one of my handlebars, and I got another one in my survival kit. I've got a couple of safety whistles. It's just stuff to ensure that I can be found if I go off on my own. Oh, the last thing I do is I print a sheet to make search and rescue easy. Not that I ever plan on needing search and rescue, but I print off a sheet, and that sheet is a topo map with my route highlighted in yellow, with my starting point and my ending point defined. And it says Vince Dion, 29-year-old male.
Mm-hmm.
Bald with glasses and a mustache, whatever. Maybe a photo of myself.
In a very nice 70s porn stash at that.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Traveling on bicycle, following this path, departure time, I handwrite that in when I get there. Estimated time of arrival, I handwrite that in when I get there, but all the rest is pre-filled in. My cell phone number, my Zoleo satellite communicator number for text messaging, my emergency contact, and I leave it sitting on the seat of my truck. And then I send a note to a trusted friend or my significant other to say, hey, I'm off in backcountry alone. This is my starting point. This is where you'll find the truck. If you don't hear from me in Umpty Dumpty hours, call search and rescue. Tell them to go find my truck, and there'll be a map of where I intend to go. And I don't deviate off the path, right? I stay on the path. Yeah. I'm not bushwhacking. I'm not cutting through trees. I'm not skilled that way. I want to stay on gravel path because that's where I'm comfortable. So all of that, that feeds into it.
I didn't have my glasses down. So at first glance, I thought Mike was saying you needed to bring beer spray. And I wasn't sure if that was the thing.
Beer spray.
But definitely definitely, I guess if you're going to be in an area, at least the backcountry area, you never know what kind of wild animals you're going to run into. And obviously, up where you're at, bears are more prevalent than maybe they are down where I live. So,
Bear, cougar, bobcat, elk, deer.
Cougars, yeah.
deer.
No, not the kind you find on a Friday night in a bar.
Hmm.
And I carry bear spray. I carry an air horn with me, a little tiny one,
Mhm.
because I can make noise with it that way. I carry a signaling mirror. It's all the stuff, in the essentials kit. And the bear spray is never more than one hand reach away. That's just
I don't think I've
stuff you
ever
do.
seen anybody actually use bear spray before.
The advice about bear spray, and with the candy store, I get to work at outdoor shows and help people spend their money on GPSs and bear spray and a few other things. And backcountry bear experts say, if you're going to pull it, you empty the can. You don't just
Yep.
give it a little spritz.
Mhm.
You empty the damn can, drop it, and run in the opposite direction. Now,
Yeah.
if I could carry a bear banger with me, I would.
What's a bear banger?
A bear banger makes a sound like a great big shotgun blast,
Okay.
but it flies through the air and goes about 100 feet, and then it lets off the bang. So it's a time delayed bang.
Cool.
And you have to be careful how you use it, because if you should fire it and it goes behind the bear is suddenly running towards you.
Mm.
You want to land it between you and the bear so it runs away. But in national parks, I can't use them.
Correct.
And a lot of what I do is in national parks. So up here in Canada, I mean, you don't carry a loaded sidearm unless you're hunting, and the lands I go on aren't hunting lands, so I don't have a firearms license.
Yeah. Always follow the law, people.
Always
Yes.
follow the law. Damn right.
Always, you gotta follow your country's law. You gotta follow, excuse me, your state or province law,
Yeah.
or town law, and any other laws that are applicable to your activity. POTA, SOTA, you gotta follow those laws or rules and
Yeah.
stay legal, everybody.
Yeah.
So something, and I think this is the case, and I'm sure somebody in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. With federal lands in the United States, national parks, they follow the state's laws. So in some national parks, it might span across multiple states. If one state allows you to carry firearms in the park, you're allowed to carry them. If the other state does not, then you're not. So it is very dependent on where you're at, even if you're
Yes,
crossing over state lines within inside of that park to be careful.
but there is I think it's I don't know if it's a federal law or just the NPS rules, National Park Service rules, that you can't carry a firearm in a area with people like the visitor center and some other
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah.
But you could carry it if you're walking around the park. You can carry if you can legally do it in your state, and you yourself can legally do it. You have a permit to do so.
Mhm.
Yes, you could do it, but you can't take that into the visitor center or other designated buildings. Always check the park's website when you go out if you have any questions or doubts or just don't know. Ignorance of the rules or the laws is no excuse, and you'll still get in trouble.
Yeah.
I didn't
Indeed.
know I could do that. I couldn't do that.
Jody
You
says the
should've
law of
known.
nature. Bears enjoy the taste of juicy ham radio operators.
Yes, they do.
As long as there's lots of flesh on them.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
And so some of these backcountry sites that I've ridden to have bear-proof food lockers.
Yep.
So I will take my entire backpack and jam it in the food locker so that if I have to run, I can grab my radio with one hand, jump on my bike, and let the bear try to get in the food locker and then go away disgruntled. And then I can come back and rescue the rest of my gear, after the area is clear. I've never had a run-in with a bear, having said all that, right?
You
And that's
ever
why I
seen
like
one
it.
when you're out, or
No,
I
no.
I
I've
would
seen
tell you,
evidence of, but not
yeah,
fresh evidence.
Yeah, and never think that nothing can happen to you. It's
Bingo.
you're setting yourself up to actually the karma come back to you and actually it happened. In my opinion, it's like, oh, I can never
Totally.
get hit by a car. It's like, no, you could One
you
day
get hit
you
by
could get
one.
hit by a car because you're playing on your phone. And you're walking downtown and you walk in the street. Boom!
Yeah,
Side of the bus.
yeah.
How'd that
You know,
go?
Um,
the other things that are fun are trying to plan airline trips with radios.
yep.
Oh goodness. So I think I was telling you guys earlier this year I went on a weight loss program, and my kit weighed too much. It was 6.5 kilos, and so about 15 freedom units, 2.25 is the multiplier. And I took a look at that and I went, well, yeah, I've got 15 freedom units worth of available space in my carry-on bag because I don't check my radio. My radio comes on the plane. That's just all there is to it. It's a
Me too.
carry-on item.
That's right.
In addition to the batteries, of course, the less necessary stuff like antennas and stuff goes in my checked bag. But I took a look at this kit and I went, holy damn, this thing's heavy. And geez, maybe I need a KX2 instead of a KX3. That's what got me down the path of the KX2, which just arrived today, by the way. That was the whole discussion. And it turns out that my KX3, it's the single heaviest thing in my kit, but it wasn't the reason my kit was so damn heavy. But once again, you go back to kit lists and you think about what you need to take and how you plan on operating when you get there. So for my recent trip to Ontario, I really wanted to do 80 meter and 40 meter activation because on the eastern seaboard, there's much more population. It's way easier to do 80 and 40 meter contacts for POTA than it is out here out west. So I took antennas specifically with that in mind, right? And I thought about that. And instead of taking a big variety of antennas, I took two. I took one wire antenna that I scratch built, and I left the toroid at home, and I let the tuner handle the differences. And I took a vertical, an Elecraft vertical with me. And I took all the light
Hmm.
stuff, you know, and I
I might,
trimmed my kit in half by doing that. Eh,
I might drop out for just a second.
might drop out for just a
Don't
second.
drop
That's
out.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Tim is having computer issues tonight, folks. So
Mm.
Yeah, there you go.
Tim is going to figure it out. If he drops out, Jeff and I'll keep talking. Jeff, what do you do when you go to prepare for a park that you've never been at before while Tim is sorting himself out?
Well, one of the first things I do, I look for any adjacent or nearby parks. Also, any if there's any like trails that might cover that same area or be near that area, just so I have a good idea. It's like you say, you got to do research. So I got to do research of like what's there. Is the area actually a multiple park? Can it be a multiple park activation? Like when I went down to Yorktown this weekend. Well, I went down to Virginia, went up to Yorktown from where I was staying, and I did know that Yorktown National Battlefield National Park. There's had to do some research because I thought there was some multiple parks around there, but I wasn't too sure. So I'd never been there before. But I know the Washington Rochambeau National Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail, mouthful, ends there. It starts up in New York, goes through New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Um, I've activated before in Delaware a few times, but I knew it ended there, so I had to find out what road that was. There's the Colonial National Historic Park that's also part of the Yorktown area, and there's the fourth one, and then there's a fifth one, and the fifth one is actually in the water. It's the Captain John Smith Chesapeake National Historic Trail or something like that. So you got to be within 100 feet of the water to do that. And I didn't know if I was or not. I assumed I wasn't going to be. But lo and behold, luckily I did my research. I was going to park up at the visitor center, but the visitor center was closed on Saturday for some reason. I will not get into it. But I ended up parking by the water, and I was 100 feet within the water. So from the water, I
Cool.
parked near the end of the parking lot just to be near the water. So I mean, you got to figure out what you're going to do because I maximized because I knew that the fifth park or fifth entity was near the water, so I ended up being there by chance and was able to do that. Um, I was also concerned about firearm laws, so I had to figure out exactly because I don't always remember what they are and where and all that stuff. So I looked up the National Park Service website and found the information and mapping my route there and how I was going to drive there, and on the day of, like, where can I stop to get some food if I need it, restroom,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I mean, it's just, you got to plan it out. And I did all the, like, trying to figure out what parks were in that area like 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. I was just sitting in front of the POTA website looking at everything, then going to the national park websites for each of the parks and any other website that I need to look at, and just making sure that where could I go in the park to cover all these. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would normally do. If it's not something like that, if it's just a single entity, then I just got to figure out how to get there, where I can go to the park, national wildlife, not national, just wildlife areas, wildlife management areas, or whatever your state calls them. They're not always very clear because normally they're for hunting, and people just drive up in their pick 'em up trucks and just park somewhere. They all know where to go. I don't know. I don't hunt, but you got to know where to park, and if you could, how far you can really go into those areas too, because sometimes you need some kind of permit to go in there depending on the state. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's an interesting point about the hunting area. So I go to the Morgan Monroe State Forest a lot, and um, the majority of it is backcountry, and so it's an open hunting land, and whatever season is in season is good to go. So like right now is turkey and deer season, and when I go out there on Sunday mornings, I want to make sure, one, I'm not interfering with hunters, because they need to use the area too, and not tying up a parking area in it. So I tend to go find the safety zone where they can't hunt, so I'm not
Yep.
interfering with them too. They don't need to hear me out there screaming CQ POTA and scaring a deer off, right? So or
Thank you,
whatever, right,
Coda.
whatever they're chasing down. So
Snipe.
so I'm looking. It doesn't look like my video's got any better.
No, it hasn't.
No.
Okay, all
Your
right.
audio is fine though. It's not stumbling.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the hunting, if you go to a wildlife area, national, state, or whatever, you do need to know where the hunting is. Well, national they're not wildlife areas for the national, they're wildlife refuges. So there is no hunting most of the time. There could be, because I haven't been to all of them yet. But the ones that I've been to, there's like no hunting. They're wildlife refuges. But yeah, for the state or provincial, that they have them up there, wildlife areas, you need to
Yep.
know where to go. You need to know, well, you probably need to know what season, just so you know, just if you're curious or not. Maybe not, but yeah, you do need to know where, like, the safe areas where there's no shooting, and you're just praying that no one's shooting in your direction. You're hoping that everyone is smart
Yeah.
and being a good hunter, because they should have taken hunter safety class of some type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
Bill,
pretty much mandatory now in all states.
yeah. And Bill's got a good point. Wear orange. Damn right. I've got an orange hat. I've got a bright orange shirt. In the fall time, that clothing is on, or bright lime green, or industrial
Fluorescent
yellow,
pink.
or whatever it is. Fluorescent pink. Any of those things, so that you
Yep.
stand out for sure. And frankly, if I'm out in backcountry on my own, and I'm 10 or 12 kilometers in, that's 6 or 7 freedom miles. I certainly want the helicopter to be able to spot me if they're trying to find me,
Yep.
right? Even if I have to take that shirt off and put my jacket on, um, and just be wearing a jacket out there, I can wave the shirt around or something. Like, it's all part of that plan.
Yeah. If you think you might need rescue, or not even think you might, but in the eventuality you do need to be rescued, you do want to carry something that you could signal with, either like a bright colored piece of clothing, a bandana, handkerchief that's bright colors. If capable, if legal, maybe like a smoke bomb, that
A flare gun. Yeah.
flare gun, or a smoke signal canister. Um, a mirror to reflect sunlight, maybe, if you can't carry something like smoke related item or a flare.
That's right. Pot
Whistles.
smoke.
Whistles are good. Yeah, whistles are good. You say pot smoke?
No, not pot smoke. Pop smoke.
Pop smoke. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bright colored smoke like that. Those things. Or like I said, piece of clothing, piece of jacket. Yeah, piece of jacket. That bright colored, just in case. I mean, like a bandana, bright colored bandana. Okay, that's a light item. You get has multiple uses and easy to stick in a bag.
Good comment from Jody. In search and rescue, we tell the kids to carry a large orange trash bag. It works for signaling and shelter. And I'm going to add to it, that takes next to no space to pack.
Yeah. I've never seen an orange trash bag, but yes, thick milled trash bags. People do say they make good shelters,
Yep.
ponchos, whatever. But
Yep.
I've never seen an orange trash bag, so now I'm kind of curious. Like orange
That's
trash
that's
bags,
a
where are they
Canadian
at?
thing, you know.
Those darn Canadians and their orange trash bags.
Yeah. Carry an aviation handy talkie and transmit on 121.5 for alerting aircraft. Yes, I carry with me a VX7R and a spare battery. I carry with me my THD 75 and a spare battery. And I don't even turn them on. Why do I carry two of them? One of them is APRS, despite the fact that Mike K at MRD says APRS is useless. And the other one, my VX7R, has been widebanded, and it's the radio I've had the longest. It's the one I can operate with my eyes closed, quite literally. And so I can dial up 121.5 and, make a call if I have to. Something else like this. This is a flashlight that blinks regularly. And this is
Yep.
my everyday carry light. This is made by Klein Tools, number 56411, for those of you who want to go shopping.
So apparently they're yard bags, and I also saw contractor bags. I think Dane, the portable hand.
Yeah,
Contractor bags.
when he said like Halloween, I'm like I thought of it like yeah, there are probably some out there like in stores for Halloween decorations that you put leaves in them and
Yeah,
they're a big
totally.
pumpkin. I think I probably might have seen them, but they're just not common down here in the U.S.
Yeah, indeed. And then, so we've been talking a lot about backcountry, but there's a whole lot of city activations a guy can do too.
Yep.
There's city
Sure.
parks in Calgary that I can go and do, but that requires me to be uh, aware of a whole different class of wildlife,
Yeah.
right?
The,
Humans, the
the
hum.
criminal element.
Well,
And
there's the criminal element. Certainly, if I'm going to set up a little table with a radio in a public area that may not be heavily populated with law enforcement, I'm certainly going to run into my share of people who are houseless and looking to take my KX2 and get $25 for it for their next score,
or your camera,
or
your
your
phone.
camera, or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all about situational awareness in
Always
in every
be
case, right?
always be around or always have your situational awareness wherever you go. Woods, city, mall, parking lot, the office, always. If you get in that mindset and you go to like a crowded area, people will notice you doing that. And it's like, well, he's looking out for something. I'm not going to try to mug that guy.
Yeah.
There's an argument to be made that people who get attacked are usually the ones with their heads down, not paying attention.
Yep. If I'm at the
Yes.
mall in the city, you do not see me walking around my head in my phone going like, where do I need to go? Oh, I'm playing on the Twitter. Oh, look at this on YouTube. No, I'm up. I'm looking around. I'm walking. I might turn around. You don't know. Like you've seen this in my activations too in my videos that I do not wear headphones because I need to hear the stuff around me too. Even though I'm not in a city, I'm still in a suburban area where there is crime. And there was, I made a video like 2 years ago. There was a attempted carjacking in one of the state parks down here.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm glad it wasn't me, but luckily the guy ran away and never got the car. So,
That's a good
but I
boy.
mean, you never know. There are crazy people out there. There are people that
Yeah.
escape from law enforcement that are running, looking for another victim. Maybe never take anything for granted. Always be aware of what's going on. And I will never wear headphones during a POTA activation when I'm by myself. Never. Maybe I might get some nifty over the ear bone conducting stuff like these,
Yeah.
but you're not going to see me with earphones covering my ears when
No.
I'm out in public. I need to hear everything around me.
I'll wear. I've got a Heil headset, and I'll cover one ear, usually the same ear that's got the boom mic on it,
Hmm.
so I can go hands free if I don't want to hang on to the mic. But that's about the only time, and I will not do that in a populated area. If there's a lot of people around, I want, like you, I want my ears
Yeah,
open. If
and
I'm
it's a
in the
situational
woods,
awareness of knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Again, anything can happen anywhere. You could have
Well, that's it.
you could be in a park and it could be a crowded park and there's a big party over in that pavilion and someone has an attitude. Two people have attitudes and they start pulling guns on each other. You need to be aware of that. You can't be sticking your head in your radio and playing parks on the air. You need to be knowing what's around you because anything can happen anywhere.
Yeah. When I carry headphones with me, I carry earbuds, and they'll go right in the ear. I can't stand those like iPod style earphones. They just don't fit my head right.
really,
But I'll never put
what,
both on.
like the ones I got in my head right now.
Yeah, yeah, those
Yeah.
don't fit me right. They just fall out. Because maybe I have non-standard ear canals or something. Did I just say that? That's going to be such a good soundbite. Um, but when no matter where I am, I only ever put one in because I want to hear what's around me. I want to hear
Yeah.
if an animal is walking up on me if I'm out in back country,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, even when I worked in a corporate office, it was an open office, so we had desks with monitors and our laptops, and it's basically we were doing like lots of I won't call it busy work, but what we were doing e-discovery, pulling information from databases, and to get through the day, we would all listen to our own music on earpods or headphones or whatever.
Yeah,
But with like the newer ones, they have the transparency, so you could hear everything around you still, which is a nice feature in modern headphones. The noise canceling, I don't think I ever used the noise canceling because I always thought it was kind of weird because I couldn't hear anything else other than very faint, well, the music coming through, but it was everything else was muffled and really like hard to hear, and it made me feel isolated, kind of like audioly or sound. It just made me feel isolated somehow. And if someone needed to get a hold of your attention, one they would either message you and you'd see it pop up on your screen, or they'd tap you on your shoulder, like, "Hey, what's up?" But you always needed to be aware, even in the office, because like disgruntled workers, you never know.
going postal,
Yeah.
right?
Again, it's like you should never have the attitude, "Oh, it can never happen here. It can never happen to me." You're setting yourself up to be surprised one day, no matter what the situation
That's
or
right.
whatever.
Yeah, situational awareness is absolutely key. No
Yeah,
matter what kind of activation you're doing,
yeah, and like you go into the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, and you need to be aware. You need to know about bears and mountain lions and cougars
Lions and
and whatever else,
tigers. Oh my.
and bears. Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hear something rustling in the woods, like 20 feet from your location, you're gonna say, "I hope that's not a freaking bear." You don't want to be piled in there going, "CQ parks on the air, CQ parks on the air."
I,
Yeah,
you,
can
you know,
somebody call 911? A bear just hit me, right?
Yeah,
yeah. I guess some of it might come down to like I do a lot of camping. I did a lot of camping with scouts in the woods, so I guess I'm not as hyper vigilant to some of those noises because I'm not overly concerned in general. So, I guess maybe there's a balance too, and not every time you hear a tree branch or some leaves rustle, not freaking out over too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I don't
right.
know. Got to find a happy medium.
You got to find a happy medium for sure. And that's a learned skill over time. Yeah. So I had a couple of cubs run in front of me once as I was quadding with a few guys, and we saw just two cubs run across trail in front of us, and we all slowed down because we didn't know if mom was right behind them or not.
Yeah.
And we waited a little bit, and we booked it the heck out of there. And like 10 seconds after we crossed where the cubs had crossed our trail, after we went down trail, mama came out of the bush and she's looking around at us.
Yeah.
Just get the hell out of the way, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
And I was just thinking about when you said that, like you were just there and the bears came out in front of you. It's like it doesn't have to be a big animal. It could be a freaking poisonous snake. I just saw
yeah,
one of Mike KMRD's videos. He went to Huntsville National Park and he was actually driving. He wasn't walking or anything. But on the road, there was a cottonmouth snake came out and he went to go play with it.
of
But
course.
yeah, even if you're like hiking, I would still think like if you're in an area where there are snakes, poisonous snakes, or not poisonous, venomous snakes, um, you want to be aware of where you're walking, what you're touching, what you're moving,
Yeah,
because they could be under there and they strike you right away because they're more paying attention than you are,
yeah,
and you don't want to turn a good day into a bad one. So
yeah,
it's not just like the big animals; it's the small ones too.
yeah, indeed.
Spiders, snakes, scorpions, whatever,
Well,
Oh
anything
so,
my.
venomous and
well,
falls.
let me show you one piece of gear that I always have with me. And this is a
Oh,
Zoleo satellite communicator.
God, Vince, you got me off
And
guard there.
oh, sorry, Tim. So
Yeah.
this is a Zoleo satellite communicator, and this is my own unit. Um, and Tim's going to get it up on screen. And
Eventually,
so
Yeah.
there we
Allegedly.
go.
the satellite communicator is a device uh, that I connect to it via Bluetooth off my phone, and I can do two-way text messaging via the Iridium satellite network. As long as it's got a view of the sky, it can send and receive messages. And these categories of devices, they're sold. The two big ones up here in Canada are Zoleo and the Garmin InReach.
Yep.
And Garmin InReach being the old DeLorme company, because Garmin bought them out 7 or 8 years ago now. Um, some of the Garmin devices have InReach built into them, into their handheld GPSs, and now even some of the Garmin smartwatches have the ability to send messages from the watch directly to a satellite constellation. That's a brand new feature. This one is the least expensive of the bunch, and the Zoleo devices. The reason I mention this is the low cost. There's still a monthly cost of operating, and those are compatible to they're comparable. That's the word I'm looking for, to each other, from Garmin versus Zoleo. But the Zoleo devices are going on sale, coming up on the 20th of November all over North America. They're knocking the price down. Don't quote me. I think about $20. And so your local candy store will have that at the lowest price ever. That's how they've advertised it in time for Black Friday. And so what do I do with this device? Well, not only can I lift the flap and hit the SOS button, which I am not going to do for your entertainment pleasure, but I can pull out the app on my phone, and I can where's the app? There's my Zoleo app. I can pull out the app on my phone and do my messaging, and I can send messages back and forth to people, or I can do my POTA spotting with it. And so with my POTA spotting, I can say, oh, well, hey, spot at CA0685 VE6LK on 14340 and a comment, so I do that by SMS. So
Yep.
that's one of the cool things that a guy can do with this, in addition to being, a personal safety device.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
you about that. I saw the other day where your spot came through. It wasn't the POTA app. I think it was POTA spots or you said you text message that in, right?
I text
Was it
message that.
SodaMate
Usually I
maybe?
text messages. Sometimes I use SodaMate,
Okay.
and I'll use SodaMate either acoustically coupled by it sending the FT8 tones over my microphone on sideband, or I have a little widget that plugs into my Elecraft KX3, KX2 that is directly compatible with those radios, and it posts a spot for me.
Oh, right on.
Transmits a spot via FT8. Same technology.
Cool.
SodaMate is a great tool for spotting, especially when you're outside of cellular range.
Yeah.
So
That's another thing. If you don't know where you're going has good cell service, because it's happened to me before. I'm in the middle of the Delmarva Peninsula in Virginia, and there's no cell service. I'm like, I didn't plan for this. So what I ended up doing is just kept on calling CQ for like 20, 30 minutes before I made contact. And you should have one of those things set up. Like you should know how to use the satellite function of your iPhone, set up SodaMate, set up whatever other app there is, or have some kind of way to communicate anything if you want to get spotted or need help. And someone mentioned, well, my iPhone does satellite, and I kind of saw the same thing. Yeah, I know, but um, I just saw something when I was looking for the Zello stuff on the web that they have information about their site. Now, of course, I can't post it because it's too long of a URL. I'll try to share it, but it's not shareable because it's a too long. Let me find a shrinking site so I can shrink down the URL. Heaven forbid.
There we go.
YouTube doesn't want me to. Oh, now you want me to create an account? Oh, for crying out loud! Seriously. Well, if you go to Zello, there's information on their website. Zelio versus the iPhone.
Yeah.
And they talk about battery life on there. That's one thing. 1 or 2 days of regular use for the iPhone. 200 plus hours for the Zelio unit.
Yeah.
And it kind of depends. Do you have a way to charge your phone up? You could extend
Yeah.
it by that. There's a bunch of other things too, and the size and the weight. It's like, yeah, easy to wear. Yes, carabiner included.
yeah.
iPhone, no. It
So
all depends. I mean, some of these comparisons are always kind of like
Yeah.
product
Yeah.
uh,
And
oriented.
I did a little video about the Zolio a while ago. What's a
Yep.
Zolio? And it was a 5 or 6 minute overview of it, and I'll find that on my channel and post that. But it's it's a great little product. I wouldn't be here shilling it if I didn't believe in it myself. And of course, I own my own unit. That's how much I like it.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now in US. It's $149. Also looked it up on Amazon. It's the same price right now. The list says 25% off of $199.99 on the Amazon, and 25% off is
Well,
$149. So
so wait for November 20th, because that's when it drops price further.
yeah. I was just looking up the monthly plans. Again, this is at the time of the video, folks. Don't leave a comment in the future saying, well, no, it's $2,000. Well, when we record the video, it wasn't.
you should have listened to Vince when he said to get it after November 20th.
Yeah.
For Black Friday. So one good thing, I know some people mentioned the iPhone. What I would thoroughly recommend is having multiple ways to communicate out
Hell
there.
yes.
People are talking about the pace plan, right? Having a pace plan, but couldn't tell you about the pace plan. But Josh, our friend Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course, has got a whole slew of videos on the pace plan. But
I
always
didn't know
having
that. That's good.
multiple ways to communicate, right? Whether it is with a Zolio, or whether it's with a cell phone, or it's using the satellite portion of your iPhone. I think Android might be getting there soon if they're not there already. in the newer models of the Android phones. Obviously, we're all ham radio operators, so we would have a ham radio too. And I kind of, back when I was doing more time out in the truck, I saw there was 2 people that had died out in BLM land because they got stuck and had no way to communicate, and they died. And I was looking at that. It's like, well, a lot of overlanders go out to the BLM land, and they GMRS is a big thing in their community. And there's that whole argument and disagreement between GMRS and ham. But I'm like, do what we do with HF. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different side of ham radio that you're not going to get with GMRS. And having that ability to communicate. Shortly after that, there was also the incident where there was a family that was stranded in Death Valley in the middle of the summer. And they were able to, it was a ham radio operator, and he was able to use his radio to reach somebody on the East Coast, have them notify the park that they were stranded out in the middle of nowhere, what their situation was and their coordinates, so they could get help to them, because they had no phone service otherwise. So there is always an opportunity. Somebody mentioned earlier, Boy Scouts, be prepared. That's the Boy Scout motto. Be prepared, and you should, at every opportunity, make sure you have a couple different ways of doing anything for any time you go out, whether you're doing a local park or you're out in the backcountry.
Yep. Yeah. So I'd never heard the acronym PACE before. And I'm going to ignore what Mark Hughes had to say about it. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. And Mark says picante sauce.
Sounds legitimate.
He
But
sounds
yeah,
like he's hungry.
as ham radio operators, when we're called to service at an event or an MCOM call out, or a RACES or ARES or ACS or whatever you want to call it, people want us there because we know how to get messages through. We're creative. And how are we creative? We're creative because we rehearse with our gear. We know what it's capable of. We know what we are capable of. And we practice. We don't just buy the stuff and put it in a can and wait for SHTF to hit and pull it out and go, gee, I don't know how to use this anymore, and I wonder where the manual is. That's not what we do, right? We rehearse with our gear regularly. POTA is an essential part of that for me, so that I know how to operate my gear whenever I need to. So, that's something we all can keep in mind.
Yeah.
Meshtastic to airplanes. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
If
That's like
you fail to
shooting
prepare, yeah,
that's like trying to throw a rock into a big lake and hoping you hit a fish.
yeah, totally. If you fail to prepare to fail. Yeah,
Yep. I think that's a great
for sure.
great slogan there.
And so it doesn't matter whether you're doing a drive up POTA or a backcountry POTA. All of these prep rules apply.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take me to drive there? Where are my fuel stops along the way? What have I got for food, so that if I get stuck somewhere, I've got something with me?
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on, right?
Mhm.
These are all basic things. So
See you, Mark.
See you, Mark. Dogs. Yeah, gotta take care of those dogs.
So I got to tell you, I got into POTA quite by accident. It's the strangest thing. It was, I think, what was the last year that the POTA folks did their annual awards program?
2022 maybe.
So 2022. So in
You mean
2022,
you mean the big July one, right?
yeah, the big July one where they did it on a live stream,
The
and they
plaque and
invited
everything. Yeah.
yeah, they invited a bunch of YouTubers to do the presentation and read the awards out, and they asked us from Ham Radio Workbench to do a video. So we did. And I heard about this NPOTA thing beforehand, and I'm like, why would anybody want to do that? And I really didn't understand because, my head was stuck in the sand or possibly someplace else. Be kind. And
Hey now.
so my buddy and I, we both recorded the video, and we recorded the video for James KE8PZN, or PZN, as y'all would say down in Freedom Land. Um, and James that year had done 43 parks or something in 24 hours. The guy was a machine. He
Yep.
and I talked about that later at Hamvention, and he goes, "Oh, Vince, that was absolutely a team effort. There were 30 people involved in that. Guys driving ahead to set up the next two parks. All I had to do is show up, make my 10 contacts, and drive, and
Yeah.
and like not even drive. Anyway, we gave Rod and I read out on camera, and the winner is, and we submitted our video, and the rest is history. But it was after that that I started getting involved in POTA, and learned just how much fun it is. And that's what's really got me on traveling all over the place to try and tackle parks that nobody's gotten to yet, to push my own personal limits, to have some fun, to do some travel, and to drive my count ever upwards higher. One of the things I did in search of this was in Canada, we have the RAC, Radio Amateurs of Canada, Portable Operating Challenge. And it's a monthly thing that aggregates into an annual. And I took a look at it, and I had driven 8 hours into British Columbia, one province to the west, to go off and do some rally sport. I do net control for rally sport out here in Western Canada. And one of my friends says to me, "Well, Vince, you're submitting all these points to the RAC Portable Operating Challenge. It's like just showing up at this event is worth 200 points to that." And I'm like, "Oh, 200 points. What does that buy me? It doesn't buy me anything, but it's 200 points." So I looked into the challenge.
Mhm.
And halfway through the month of December, I started doing this challenge. Well, the challenge was every grid square I covered was a multiplier. Every time zone I covered was a multiplier. Every province was a multiplier. Every park was a multiplier. And if I did it in CW, it was a point multiplier. Digital mode was considered harder for some reason, and it was twice the multiplier. So it was me and one other guy out of Vancouver that he was like the top guy every month, and so I set my targets. I met Dave, not long afterwards, and we shared a laugh about it. Um, he and I were neck and neck when we submitted points. Had I missed one contact or had he gotten one more, our results would have flipped. It
Oh
was
wow.
it was that close. But I did bag the number one position that month. Now I had to drive like a banshee all over the place. It was probably, $1,000 in fuel that month in my big old F-350, driving
Jeez.
all over, um, and getting up at insane hours and driving to all these places just to tackle another unique park to get another multiplier and try a different mode.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
it
Vince,
drives you to do these things.
Chris Brooker's late to class. And
What did he miss?
he
Chris,
wants yeah,
scroll back up in the chat
yeah.
and look for the Zoleo satellite communicator video. You missed that because these are going on sale soon.
Mhm.
And you missed this Vince's new toy. I got rid of my very beloved KX3, and now I have a KX2. And we've just been talking about, how you tackle a bunch of parks. So that's what you missed.
And
Yeah. You
and
have to
somewhere there are
rewatch it.
some gratuitous butt pics
Yeah, and gratuitous butt pics of a Canadian.
of a Canadian.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll promise you there was no butt floss involved in those butt pics
Thank
because that
God.
would just be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I hear
Klein
that's
five, the Klein
I hear
five
that's the
six four
bathing
one one.
suit of
That's a good one.
I heard that's the national bathing suit of Canada.
Butt floss. Yeah.
Well, the banana hammocks.
The banana hammocks. Well, we are going to. So after last night's live stream on Clubhouse, we are going to build an RSE, a rugged stranded element wire. We are going to build a banana hammock and send it down to K8 MRD.
Jeez.
So,
Oh Lordy.
so yeah,
Oh
we
boy.
are going to do that. How is that fancy new wire? It's great stuff. I'm hoping to get my KX2 and my QMX, which is going to be here on Friday, both out in the field this weekend and trying them out on antennas made of that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing that in action.
Yeah.
So you showed you had a video. Ben also had a video.
Yeah.
You went into the soldering of it and the connectors and everything.
That's right. And Ben
So
crimped.
is it just the inner strands that would make up the inner is the copper or nickel impregnated carbon fibers? Is that what that?
Exactly correct.
Okay.
Here, let me set up a close-up shot here
Oh, let me
on the
embiggen you.
desk. And let me do this here. There we go. Put a ruler down for scale. So this stuff is a 1/16 of an inch across.
Okay.
And what you're looking at is the jacket. I'll get my fingers out of the way in a minute. There we go. Oh, that's a really good shot. So what you're looking at is rugged stranded element, RSE wire, the newest product from the Ham Radio Rookie, vfcoms.com. And when I stop talking, I'll type some links into the chat. This stuff is carbon fiber coated with nickel. There are some insane number of strands there. Ben said it last night. I can't remember the number, but it's I think it's 1,500 strands. Like, it's super fine in here. And if I splay it out, you can see some of them, catching the light there. And so this stuff is 300-pound breaking strength. It has a polyester jacket on it, so it's not designed for long-term outdoor use. This is the first version of his product. It's patent pending, and it can be soldered or crimped. It behaves like standard wire. Thanks, Jeff, for putting the link in there.
You're welcome.
And it works great as an antenna. We did some modeling with it, and we modeled it in M Mana and in Easy Neck as a 40-meter inverted V dipole. We modeled it versus 12-gauge copper, and 12-gauge copper had a forward lobe of 5.89 decibels. And when we measured this stuff and modeled it, we modeled it as 39-gauge copper because that's the equivalent DC resistance. So I'll talk about that in a second. And the difference was only 1.8 dB down from 12-gauge copper. So this stuff is much lighter than 12-gauge copper and easier to handle and all the rest, right? And it's comparable performance. Now, when I put up a 20-meter dipole in the backyard with it, feeding into the center of my Pactena, it performed equally as well as the Davis Polystealth, excuse me, the Davis Polystealth that a lot of antennas like the Pactena ship with. It performed just as well in my measurements. So it's really cool stuff. And it will be on sale on Bed's website soon. There is a retailer in Canada that is carrying it, GPS Central, out of Calgary, and you'll be able. The Canadians can get it there, and the Americans can get it from directly from VF Comms. So that stuff is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing with that this weekend.
I think so. I got an email from Ben today. Actually, it was part of a mailing list. Yeah, and I guess the response was so overwhelming that he's going to have to. Yeah, it was. He's going to have to be a little not restrictive, but he wants to make sure that everybody gets some. So until he can get some more in stock. So
yes,
if you guys are interested and you got that email, make sure you fill that out so he can try to get a little bit out to everybody so they can at least get an antenna up in the air and try it out. Something he mentioned, I think in his video, was that it's about 4 ounces per 100 feet.
It is.
So
that's comparable to Polystealth.
Yeah, no appreciable weight there.
Nope.
And a little bit more durable. The thing I also like about it is you can just tie a knot off on the end of it, right? You can tie a loop around and connect it to your to the tip on your mast, and there you go.
Yeah, This is 80 feet of it that I haven't used yet.
And you can easily fold over and bend back your wire and tie it off, and you don't have to cut it.
Yeah.
Um, so there's some neat things about it. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff for sure. And then, if you want a 300 pounds tearing weight, yeah, that's right. Ben says from a practical standpoint, you want to think about it as like 150, like half of that. So you don't want to suspend yourself from it, but you could, unless you weigh as much as I do, in which case,
Yeah.
don't do that. Um, but it's very cool stuff. So yeah, you can solder it and you can do all those things with it. That it's wire, it's just different. So I was talking earlier about the strand count.
Yeah.
And I said we modeled it as if it was 39 gauge magnet wire because that's the equivalent DC resistance of it. So the smaller a wire gets, the more DC resistance it has. But remember, RF travels on the skin of wire. So it's not as affected by the DC resistance of a wire as you might think because of that. So the question that has to be answered about this is, well, what's the skin effect of this stuff? If there's 100 strands of this stuff out in the wild blue yonder there, where's the RF going? Is it going on the aggregate of the skin of all of this stuff, or is it going on each strand, or where is it going? We don't know that, or we don't have that information available to us from the manufacturer just yet. It's pretty cool stuff, though. You can sew it into your clothing. So if you want a real stealth antenna,
There you
sew it
go.
into your jacket and terminate it with an SMA connector and just plug it straight into your HT and walk down the street and nobody knows you're wired for radio.
There you go. I
Yeah.
don't know if you you were talking when I put this up. Chris Bricker says he started looking at nickel plated carbon fiber for other things. Thinks it could be the next biggest thing for PCBs, and he is already working on a white paper for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get up to this weekend. I don't think I'm going to be going any place new, because if I want to screw around with new technology, I probably want to be not too far from home. Um,
True.
you know, so there is a park about 15 minutes down the road from me, um, and I guess that's where I'll be going to screw around with my new gear, or my new to me gear,
the VE6LK Proving Grounds.
the VE6LK Proving Grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Okotoks erratics, the big rocks.
The big
Yeah,
rocks.
yeah, they're the size of small cottages. They were deposited here 30,000 years ago by a glacier from like the 500 kilometers north of here.
Yeah. So Physics Mark says the skin will be on the outermost strands.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Excuse me. No.
Either it will or it won't.
Well, it's pretty binary that way.
It is. Yeah. It's pretty binary. Either or.
Yeah. Yeah, right on. Well, Tim, what do you got coming up this week, man? I've been doing all the talking tonight.
Well, you're the guest of honor.
Well, I spread the load around.
Yeah. I don't know. We've got some stuff going on at work, and I've been pretty heads down there. So, I probably should get a video or two out, but nothing planned as of yet. Holidays are coming up. I haven't talked to these guys yet, but three holidays will be coming up here in the next couple of months: Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. The 1 year anniversary of the kids table, the kind of the kickoff, thanks to our friends at Ham Radio Clubhouse. They took a well-deserved couple of weeks off for the holidays last year and left a void there. And I said, you know what, Jeff, Vince, let's go do this thing. And that's what we did. So that is the 1 year is coming up. So that'll be Christmas Eve, maybe it's Christmas Day. It'll be Christmas Day this year. So I don't know what we'll be doing. I'm sure we'll be live streaming something, and it'll be fun and light and everything. we will have a show on before Thanksgiving. I'm working on a special guest for that stream next week. So stay tuned and watch the social media. If you guys haven't already, up there in the top corner is a QR code for the Ham Radio Kids Table Discord that Vanna Jeff is pointing to, and yeah, get in there, get in part of the community. One of the things I think that I like to do with this is just to have these conversations, right? Use this as a learning opportunity to get out there and push ourselves to do more, right? To not just follow along with everybody else. Vince, you mentioned it. One of the things that makes us great about it, being a ham radio operators, is that we know how to use our gear, and we learn how to do that by getting out there and pushing the envelope. I mean, it's easy to just follow along with the crowd, but sit there and analyze, look at it, see what's different, see what you could do different to get that to perform a little bit different. You never know. You might have carbon fiber impregnated nickel, or nickel and fiber, whatever that stuff is that Ben made. Have stuff like that and stumble across the next big thing in amateur radio. And that's the beauty of this hobby, is it is an experimenter's hobby. It's what it started out with, not a appliance operator's hobby. So don't be afraid to get out there and try it. And hopefully we're going to create a community of people that are like-minded on that and are there to help each other out in doing that.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. Get out and practice with your gear, kids.
Yeah.
Don't leave it in a garbage can buried in the ground waiting for stuff to hit the fan, thinking you can use it. Get out and practice with your gear regularly. Check on your gear. It's your children. Tell your children you love it by using it every once in a while, using the gear. These are the things we should be doing. POTA's a great proving ground for that.
Physics Mark is getting all technical in the chat.
Yeah, he is. He is indeed. Hey, Jeff, what do you got coming up, man?
Oh, boy. Well, I'm on vacation this week from work because I need to use my time, which I'll gladly do. Trying to finish up a video and get 3 other ones started, maybe. Next week, I have a bunch of things going on for my health stuff. I'm having a procedure done on Thursday next week. I do not know how I'm going to be affected by it afterwards. It's dental, so but it's like kind of like major surgery. But yeah, well, so we're gonna see how that goes, and I don't know what my schedule will be like after that. So
Get your stuff done before that.
I might be back to normal after the day after, but maybe in extreme pain and not wanting to do anything. Who knows?
Except CW.
Yeah, I gotta read that book. I gotta learn the CWs because I got a very expensive CW paddle in my possession now. So
what'd you get?
I got the QR Zombie.
Oh,
number 13.
Number 13 for
he
Modern
hooked me
Morse.
up. I said, "Did anyone claim serial number 13?" He says, "Let me check." He says, "No." It's like, if you can, I'd like 13. He says, "Dude, got it."
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, need to learn how to use it now. I played with it in my hand a little bit. I'm surprised it was so tiny. I thought it was a little bit bigger than that.
Oh yeah.
But it's like tiny. I'm like, dang. And
yeah,
pretty nice piece of work.
Yeah, well, that's
so
good.
Now I need to learn how to use it.
Yeah, well, that's good. Right on.
Yeah. So what's coming up with you?
Well, I got a couple more videos. I have to look at my studio so that I can remember what I call it. I've been releasing a series of these little 2 to 4 minute videos called Kit Basics, and these are just things I do, my best practices about things like how I stack my RF connectors together and leave them in a bag, so that I always know that I've got the right number with me, or I can spot them very quickly. I don't have to like root around through 30 different connectors, because yes, I do carry 30 different connectors with me in the field because I never quite know what I'm going to be up against, right? Or the way that I isolate ground loops in my shack using a USB isolating device called an ATEM 3160. These are inexpensive devices you can find on Amazon. So anyway, I call this the Kit Basics series. I've got 2 more of those in the can to release, and I'll get them off in the fullness of time. And I guess I better start shooting some more of them because people seem to like them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I got coming up. So there we are.
Hey, Tim, I noticed that your video is like normal now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I turned my camera off for a little bit and then turned it back on. I didn't turn off the camera. I turned it off in Restream. So
Yeah.
um,
Maybe
Hey,
your
I don't
kids
know.
got done streaming.
I'm starting to wonder.
Yeah,
Starting to
bandwidth
wonder.
starvation is a thing. I
Yeah.
want to set
Yeah.
up some rules on the firewall.
Oh, you know it. I got them.
Uh-huh.
I got all the rules on the firewall.
I'm
All
sure
the
you do.
rules.
I'm sure you do.
I'm
Well,
starting to think my kid was doing something on Xbox, and
yeah,
we're just gonna
that,
have to.
that'll be the thing. Hey, it's going to be another good night for auroras tonight. I'm looking up at my ham clock, and 100% chance of aurora. Um, and while the line isn't coming as far south as it was last night, those of you in northern latitudes will certainly see some sort of a show if the sky allows you to. So I know where
I
I'm going as soon as we come off stream.
well, my wife. I was just reading my text message. My wife's like, "You come over and get me up if you see him." So
Yeah.
um, today, somewhere
It ain't
on
happening for
the
me.
YouTube on one of the social medias, I saw somebody down in Florida saw the lights
Mhm.
last night.
Yeah. I saw that in the news too, like Texas and Florida. I'm like, BS. Because I went out. Did I stay up late last night? No, I don't remember. But before I went to bed, I mean, I take my dogs out. I look up in the sky and I can see there's Orion and there's some other constellations. And I'm like, okay, I can see the stars. There's no color in the sky. So I'm like, yeah, they're full of shit. But
So
I'm like, and plus, like where I am, there's some light pollution. But I mean, if I could see some of the stars, I would think I would be able to see the auroras if they're going far south as Florida. But maybe it happened later in the night when I was in bed. I don't know, but I'm not staying up all night to catch it.
So one of the things that I noticed the last time I couldn't see them with my naked eye the last or earlier this summer, but I put my cell phone camera and recorded the sky for 60 seconds and they were there as clear as day. So I think it's something in just that portion of the light spectrum
Yes, that's
where I'm at where
absolutely correct.
I just didn't see it, but the camera picked it up.
Yeah. I might have to try that depending on how late I stay up tonight. But once you actually see that, I actually saw it in Banff National Park when I was 14 years old, and me and a bunch of other people we were literally slept underneath the aurora. We said screw the tent or wherever we
Yeah.
were staying. We're like, we got our sleeping bags or whatever we had, and we just watched it. And I miss seeing it. It's like the most incredible natural thing I've ever seen. And you really should see it. I'm dying to see it again. And every time they say, "Oh yeah, you can see it here in Delaware," it's like it's raining, it's cloudy, or something, or it happens like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm already asleep. So
I'm
hopefully one day.
gonna drop this article in the chat. It's a Google translated article. Oh, I don't have nah, I can't. Nuts. Hang on. Too many characters in the chat. See if that works. Nope.
But while you're
Still
trying
too
to do
many.
that, there is an an app called Aurora Forecast, My Aurora Forecast. I have it on iOS. Get it if you're interested in space weather. You should have this and Space Weather Live on your phones because you do need to know when stuff is going on. Like, oh, I went to the park and all the bands are dead. Well, if you notice that there's a freaking solar storm happening or solar flare or whatever.
That's something we didn't even talk about. Weather.
Space weather. Yeah.
Well, just weather in general.
Yeah. You gotta know the weather if you want to know if it's gonna be raining or not when you do your POTA activation. You want to know if you're gonna be affected by a solar flare that just happened.
No.
Uh,
Yes.
I totally disagree with that. I think This is one of those things you just go out no matter what the weather is and you make the best of it. I have gone out and activated the day that I rode 12K out on my bike. The first time I did this, a solar flare had hit 90 minutes earlier. It took me 2 hours to get the activation, but I
Yeah.
still did it. Hey, listen, I just pasted in the chat a link. And for those of you who don't speak Spanish,
Ole.
please take that link and put it through Google Translate. And there's an excellent article explaining what coronal mass ejections are. But more importantly, it's got a really cool graphic telling you why the colors of the aurora are different. Something I never knew.
I've seen that before.
So
And is B. Williams still in the chat? Is he in the chat still? I
I
don't
think
know.
he is.
Your package guys got updated. There you go. You're the last one to get your giveaway package because you're in Canada. And it's in Saskatchewan now. So there you go.
Uh-oh.
Is the
I've been-
postal strike been
How do you
resolved?
get from New York to frickin' Saskatchewan? I have no frickin' clue, but leave it to the frickin'
Hey,
US Post Office.
no, leave it to Canada Post. I mean, they both move in
Yeah.
mysterious ways.
Yeah, they say he's like, why the hell did my package go from Tennessee to Alaska?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
California.
indeed.
It's like I've seen it happen. I'm just like, whoa, that's just crazy.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
I just received $45 from some bank on PayPal.
That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Gotta like that.
Yeah. But yeah, space weather, or even regular weather, that's another thing you got to consider. If you're not following space weather, I mean, and you're an amateur radio operator and even doing POTA or SOTA, you should really have those not that knowledge and those apps on your phone or whatever device you have.
You know, I wonder how many people are like me. You see the I don't know, the thing with all the numbers in it, and
Calculator?
well, whatever that thing is that people look to, the K index and all those things.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, they kind of seem to live and die by that. I just go out and I turn the radio on.
Yeah, you can't really live and die by it because you see it in the POTA group on the dumpster fire book. Hey, what's the band's like today? I don't know if I should go out or not.
That,
Get off your lazy fat butt, go outside, turn on your radio.
ladies and
Go to the
gentlemen,
park.
to hell with the weather. Just go out and activate. You'll have
Yeah.
fun and you'll learn something.
Yeah, I mean, it might take you 2 hours to get 10 contacts, but
Hey,
at least you're playing on the air, you're having fun, you're out in nature doing the POTA if you're doing the POTAs. And yeah, just get out there. It always bugged me when people said, "Oh, what's the band conditions are like?" Those little widgets that say close, close, close. I mean, you never should follow those. Like I know people that follow them like religion, and I'm like, you can't. They're speculative. Everything changes, and you just can't say, well, it says it's all closed now, so I'm just gonna go stick my head in the toilet all day or whatever. I mean, you gotta kind of like the weather. It comes in, it goes out, it changes. You can't live by it, like you said.
we have a saying here in Indiana. It says, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
I
And
think
I
they
feel
say
like
that
that's kind of
everywhere.
I kind of feel like that's the same thing about the bands, right? And
Oh yeah.
that's kind of been the somebody brought that up the other day. Talking about the bands. Is it the bands are dead because nobody's on them, or is the band's dead because everybody thinks that nobody's on them, so nobody gets on them, right? You know,
Yes.
is it a cause and effect kind of thing? But they all seem to work during contest time.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
During contest time, true boy. But yeah, like you said, are the bands dead because no one is on the air because they think no one's on the air? I mean, I'll go start an activation and I'll look at like who is actually spotted on like the high bands, 10 meters, 15 meters, 12. If I don't see anyone on there, I'm like, I'll give it a try. Why not? And I'll sit there, call CQ for 15 minutes and then say, all right, I'm going to go somewhere else. At least I tried.
So I do thinking about it, just something that popped in my head and doing different things, right? And getting out and doing stuff. I did a AM activation Sunday. And I attempted an AM activation.
In the AM portion of the band. Gotta do it
That's
in the AM portion of the band.
right, buddy. Right in that little AM
In the
mythical
AM
AM
window.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a couple contacts. One was our friend Bill that's in the chat, Whiskey Hotel Whiskey.
Nice.
And I think he said I was his first AM POTA contact. But then the first gentleman that I had made contact with, he sent me an email, and he said that I was his first ever AM contact. So I was, I was pretty happy about that, right? Just taking a little time and doing something a little different, and getting out. I was a first for a couple people, and I think we as a community should start doing more of that. Just pushing not pushing the limit, but pushing out of our comfort zone and just doing little things to every once in a while to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I did try AM once after Mike's. I think he'd done AM videos a few times. I'm like, well, I'll give it a try.
yeah.
I tried. I forget what band I was on, but I just didn't make any contact. So I'm like, oh, that's all. I'll try it again some other time. But then you got to remember to try it again another time. You get
it is easy to go.
Yeah,
it is easy to go with what you know. And,
if you don't do it like right off the bat, like the first thing you do at an activation, then you might forget because you get sucked in and just be making contacts on SSB somewhere, and you could have a pile up or some great DX, and you just forget about it. It's like, okay, now I'm hungry, I want to go home, and then you forgot. It's like, oh darn, I wanted to try AM.
I think a good thought there is to try some things that you want to do first, and have your fallback be something that we all know that you can go to just about anywhere. 20 meters will be active. You can always get contacts on 20 meters,
20 and 40.
So if you want to try some of these other bands, 15 and 17 and 12 and 10, do it. Start there. And then if they don't pan out, then you've got your fallback 20 meters to do, and you're fine. Right.
Yep.
So same thing, trying some of these other modes, trying some different digital modes. Here in a couple of weeks, Mike Traveling Ham, he'll be coming on to the kids table to talk a little bit more about his initiative in doing a digital mode every month, and going out and trying to activate. I think he's trying to get to a park. He travels around, may not always be where he can get to a park to do that, but he'll be out on that first, I think it's the first Friday of every month, where he'll get out and activate a digital mode and have some fun there.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Always fun. Try different things all the time. Go out and rehearse. Play with your gear. Learn all the ins and outs of it. Try different things. That's what the hobby's about.
Yep. I was just about to mention that. I haven't done PSK 31 for a long time. That was like one of the first digital modes I played with. And I actually used my iPhone at the time to decode stuff when I sat on my back deck with my 991, not the Alpha, the 991, the first one, and had a blast with it. And eventually, when I got it inside, I was able to hook it up to my computer and had a blast with it. Tried doing a lot of different modes.
Aaron mentioned that he's wants to do Hellfeld or Hellschreiber, whichever. Feld Hell,
Hellschreiber.
Which interesting, if you IT people, if you're old enough to dingle with dot matrix printers, Hellschreiber
fax machine
was the basis of the fax machine and the dot matrix printer.
Yep.
But what is that software that everybody uses in Windows? The logging program.
Hammer FL Digi for digital modes, but Ham RS maybe you're thinking?
No,
FL Digi.
the logging program.
Oh, Ham Radio Deluxe maybe?
Ham Radio Deluxe has that mixed in with it. FL Digi, I think, also has it too.
Yep.
doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is actually, there's a Facebook group for Hellschreiber stuff, and I joined it early on, and I recently saw a post on there. It's like, oh, look, a notification. Well, notification.
They
And it's
do.
like, is that thing still alive? Held community. I'll post the link to the group if you're
Yeah.
interested on the dumpster fire book face place.
Yeah. So they do 1 or 2 contests a year too.
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's most relevant. I hate how social media thinks that it knows how you want to see your stuff. July 25th was the last post, and it was the Feldheld Club Grid Locator Sprint. It's like August every year, I think it is. But yeah, they don't post much there. But if you're interested in Schreiber stuff, then it could be a good source of information. But I'm sure there's probably some other sites out there too.
All right.
For the giggles.
For the giggles.
On
the giggles, let's get out of here.
All right.
So, hey guys, everybody. Well, first of all, thank you everybody for hanging out. Had a great time. Once again, take advantage using the Discord there in the community. Get those questions in there, and let's keep a conversation going. The tomorrow night is the Thursday night playlist, followed up by Coffee and Ham Radios. Friday night, I think Choo Choo Frank might have something going on, and then Digital Rancher has his late shift. Saturday is the
Ham Radio Crash Course.
Yeah, Ham Radio Crash
Thursday?
Course. For some reason, it was like Ham Radio Clubhouse. I'm like, no, that is not the one. Ham Radio Crash Course and the After Chat, and then Sunday, Tank Frank and Ham Radio 2.0 have a stream. So plenty of Ham Radio content for the rest of the week there. So I guess if there's anything else, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I am just posting our links again.
Okay.
Frank's not here, so I thought I'd do it for him.
Yeah, we have to do some of that. Right on. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for coming out tonight. 73.
All right. 73, guys.
Later, guys.
Dun, dun.